Hey Rogue Nation, Chip and Ashley here with this week's While You Were Working Live.
We know how hard it is to keep up with all the marketing, innovations, and technology in today's busy world. So we're bringing you all the news and we're boiling it down to just the important topics for you to pay attention to.
You're really going to want to stick with us this week because we've got some really interesting articles. We've got one that talks about some trends that might be expiring for 2018. We've got one around SEO. Are you doing the right kind of SEO? And then the last one we want to talk about is, are marketers destined to always be known as data geeks?
With all of that, what kind of insights did you take away from this week's articles?
You know, put simply, just because it has worked in the past doesn't mean that it's going to work or continue to work as you're trying to generate these new outcomes. HubSpot actually came out with a piece this week called eight digital tactics that are set to expire in 2018.
Interesting. What are some of the surprising offenders that are on that list?
You know, drip campaigns, automation in general, and text-based SEO are some of those surprising offenders.
Which is kind of crazy, because how can email automation already be going away? It's only 2018.
You know, that's a really great question. The title is actually a little bit misleading. It's not really that those tactics are going away or that they're dying. It's that the shortcuts that we've been taking are actually no longer proving effective. So those short-term strategies are no longer going to work, and marketers are just going to have to do the harder work of actually making these things work.
I can already feel people cringing at us just hearing you say that. But what does that mean for marketers in 2018?
Well, you probably already know that quality trumps quantity.
Mm-hmm.
That's a really important thing.
Right.
Personalization matters, especially in these drip campaigns. It's more than just the titles and the names and making sure that you've got that in there. It's about where are they in the conversion funnel, what are they actually looking for, how have they engaged with you before, and actually personalizing from that perspective. And, you know, it's just really important. Automation actually does work, but you have to do it for the right things.
Right, and we know there's no silver bullet to a successful campaign. This is just a nice reminder that you just need to keep working harder to make sure that all of your tactics are fresh and your outcomes and goals are what you're focused on.
It's true. I mean, all SEO is not created equal. There are different actual types of SEO.
That's kind of crazy that there's different types. What do you mean?
Well, it's more like phases, actually. You know, if you were to ask a marketer right now, they would probably say the reason that they're doing SEO is to actually understand or to convert and actually create more sales. But if you actually started asking them like what are they doing with their SEO, you're going to find out they're actually talking about very technical things. You know, H1 tags and title tags and speed and those kinds of things. And it's just not enough anymore.
All the fun stuff that helps build a strong site foundationally, though.
It's true, and it's not going away. It's just that there's another phase to it. So the Search Engine Journal actually put out a great piece this week talking about the different things that you can be doing to audit your site to find out if you're actually doing tech SEO or if you're moving towards that sales SEO.
So this sounds like just another case of making sure you're staying on top of your goals and staying focused on refreshing your tactics to keep up with everything that's going on in the marketing world.
It's a lot to keep up with, and marketers have really had to become very savvy around data and tech these days.
And even consumers are even that just more savvy too.
It's so true.
Right, so there's a lot to keep pace with, and marketers and the consumers are more tech savvy, and that speaks to another article that you mentioned about the geekification of marketing.
Yeah, this was actually my favorite article that I read this week. We all know that it's data, and making sure that all the technology works together, etc. Ad Age actually interviewed several CMOs and actually got their perspective on data, how they're using it, how they're gathering it, and what they're actually doing with all this data that they're getting.
That's really interesting. I'm sure there's some really great insights, especially with all of their opinions aggregated together. What did you...
You know, my main insight as I was reading this article is that we have to be really careful about the pendulum and where we're swinging it. So, you know, we were emotion, then we went all the way over to data, and you know, too much of a good thing, and data is a good thing, but too much of a good thing can still be a bad thing.
Right, too much of a good thing can almost paralyze you and overwhelm you from making decisions.
You're exactly right on. And one thing we have to remember is that it's not actually data that's buying, it's people that are buying. And so that's just something to always keep in mind.
Right, that's nice job security, especially with the notion that robots are taking over.
That's right. Oh, that reminds me of a great article I read. It was on the iPhone X and facial recognition. Now, we all know that the iPhone X is coming out that facial recognition, but the question is your phone actually reading you, or are you reading, is the phone actually looking at your face, or is the phone actually reading you? I think that's a really interesting question.
Interesting and also a little creepy, but I think I could see some good things happening for marketers with that information.
We all know how hard it is to communicate with people and how jumble things up. So the ability to actually see something in the middle of an interaction is a really cool thing. So now, more than just click-through analysis, now we can actually put the emotion on there. And that's a really great and exciting place for marketing to be, when we can actually put emotion into the data.
That is really exciting. I'm excited for 2018 and all the things to come. And with that, we have a little bit of a challenge for you, Rogue Nation.
That's right. Find some of those things that you've been doing that had some good results or that once upon a time were working for you, and figure out how you can tweak and optimize them so that you can have continued success with them.
That's right. And thanks for tuning in to this week's episode of While You're Working Live. Please tune in with us next week, and be sure to grab all the article links we talked about today over on our blog, and follow us over on Instagram and Twitter, and also get our post show on the blog too. So we'll see you next week.
See you next time.